getting dicey.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh, that's a good intro. And then normally we start off with like a recap of what happened previous weeks, but we don't have that. So let's begin. Bill, everything around you is completely dark. You can't see a single thing. And you're looking around, and the first thing that you start seeing is the stone flooring beneath your feet. What you also start to notice is a growing puddle of blood that's forming around your feet. The darkness starts pushing back a little, and soon enough, the sound and images of Mirakin and Loris attacking something malevolent sort of comes into your senses. You look behind you and you see the Baron being closed in by two shadowy figures. Let's move you onto the map.
There's a map.
You want to scroll down and off to the side a little bit here. There seems to be two other figures that are sort of fighting alongside you and your group. But they don't seem to be anything more than shadows. Loris, you notice now, is panting, trying to get his breath, and he's just covered in blood. And he's face to face with something that you can't distinguish any sort of features, but it's just pure evil emanating from it. Bill, you're up first.
Ah, fuck. Not this again. So I can only see this one kind of what I think is a creature standing in front of Loris.
So if you look at the map that we've brought up, you've got a shadowy figure sort of closing in on your right. Off to your left, you see Mirakin with just a shadowy figure in front of her. Further up ahead of you is Loris, covered in blood, with a shadowy figure face to face with him. Behind you, the Baron with two other shadowy figures closing in. First of all, can you all see the map? Are you all...
Yeah, located it now.
Yeah, perfect.
If that's what you'd call a map, but yeah.
Well, the past, it's like your your dark vision isn't really cutting through the blackness that is surrounding you. You can't see any further than maybe 10 or 15 feet to your left and right. And sort of, you're not even seeing the back of this room that you seem to be in.
Mm.
But you can tell that you're in the middle of something incredibly dangerous.
Right. Are the shapes humanoid or?
Yeah, they've got a sort of you try to get, you squint your eyes and you try and take in their form, and while it looks human-ish, there's no, you can't really take in any solid form. You can, on the ground, there are two other figures with blood just pouring out from them, but you can't really take in who or what that might be either.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Seems good.
He's so calm under pressure. I love him.
Yeah, this is a high stakes scenario that you found yourself in.
I'm gonna rush my way over to the two downed, bleeding things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lay my hand on one, and I'm gonna call out, "Come back to life."
Sure. So are you doing some sort of healing maneuver?
I'm gonna cast Revivify.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Which is I touch a creature that's died within the last minute. That creature returns to life with 1 hit point.
This creature starts sort of coughing, and you can hear it's trying to say something to you. These small bursts of almost you make it out to be yelling of some sort, but you can't make out any words. It's as muffled as the shapes are blurred. And we'll move on to Loris. Loris, you're face to face with one hell of an evil presence, and you are not in a good state. You are absolutely what would be classified as bloodied. You've got slices across your chest. You are barely able to hold yourself up.
So nothing unusual then.
Yeah.
This is battle after all, by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Would this be considered? I assume we're sort of considering this as being mid-battle, yes?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. What are the state of the two beasts, still things in front of me?
You can't tell. You can't tell the state of this thing in front of you. It's got like its shape, but you can't capture it fully. Its edges seem blurry. You just can tell that it's incredibly malevolent.
Okay. I was going to use my reckless attack, which is my first attack, but I'm going to assume that's probably out of the question, given I've made an attack already. I'm assuming.
You have already made an attack, correct?
Okay. So,
but I'll let you decide. Do you think in this fight you would have previously had used it? You might have, right?
Well, probably. And given it's when I make my first attack on my turn, so
right, okay.
It's there as the first initial charge in kind of thing. So
okay,
it's highly likely I would have already done it. I think what I'm going to do, I will, using my usual attack with my axe, I'm going to attack or. Sorry, I'm scrolling through about 6 screens here trying to find things. I'm going to attack the one that's directly in front of me.
Okay.
And after I hit, assuming I hit, I will use the menacing attack ability that I have gained with the leveling up, which when I find my character sheet again, sorry. When I hit with the weapon attack, I expend a superiority die to add to the total damage roll, and the target must make a wisdom saving throw of DC 17. On a failure, it is frightened until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
So essentially, I'm going to make my attack rather menacing with a roar kind of attack, assuming I attack. Or assuming I hit, sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, rather confused.
That's all right. Give us a roll to hit if that's what you're planning.
I will find my... Yeah, I've got to refine my axe. Yes, so attacking with my great axe. And I roll a 15, doing 17 damage.
The axe just swipes out at the shadowy figure in front of you, and it doesn't really find any hold on this thing. You've managed to just miss it. It looked like maybe you would have hit it, but it just passed in front of it without damaging it.
What the? Oh man!
And this creature in front of you, this shape, you notice that there's a darkness in where its head would be that just widens, and it's a little darker than the rest of its already blackness. And you can just see in that demonic smile 2 sharp points protruding from its mouth.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty much all I can do by reading myself. I'm just sort of going to take a bit of a defensive. I'm kind of surprised I missed, but I'm just going to sort of take a bit of a defensive pose and ready for whatever it's going to come.
Sure. The creature in front of you, Loris, it just reaches out and grabs you by the throat, and just manages to lift you effortlessly up off the ground. And in one quick move, just crushes your throat, and just throws you off to the side. You are now in a dying state.
Fantastic.
We're over to the Baron now, who's found himself with 2 of these shadowy figures encroaching in on him, his back to Bill.
Mm. Is this like a dreamlike state? Do I remember anything before this, or just I've woken up like this?
All you have right now is a memory of a fight taking place.
Okay. All right. And I'm not going to fuck around. These guys are killing everybody. This is serious. I'm going to use a spell because I'm level 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Steel Wind Strike. There's 4 people in range, so I'll have to roll it 4 times.
Okay, nice.
Okay, what did I get? Let's have a look here. I got an 18, a 20, a 10, and an 11.
So let's say 2 of those attacks are on each of these. Is that just on the 2 that are in front of you? Or is that
No, it's anyone within up to 5 creatures within 30 feet of me.
wow.
I pull out my my little letter opener and a silver letter opener, and you flourish the weapon used in casting, and then vanish to strike like the wind. Choose up to 5 creatures you can see within range, and make a melee spell attack against each target. On a hit, a target takes 6d10 force damage. And then you can teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 5 feet of one of the targets.
All right, so
you hit or miss.
You swiped out 4 times there to the 4 creatures. How are we numbering those off, though? Obviously, 1 to 4. Which one's the first?
I would say top left is 1, bottom left is 2, top right is 3, and bottom right is 4.
Cool. And where would you like to teleport to?
I will go next to Bill.
Cool. Okay, so the first 2, the dark shadows on the left, they just a spray of blood just knocks out of each of these creatures. You've done 33 damage and 29 damage to another one, and they take it like champs. They don't flinch, they don't scream. They just slices across them, blood spraying out in each direction, and they just do that same smile that Loris saw before being put into a dead state. The other 2 attacks have missed completely, and you're now side by side with Bill. Mirakin, over to you.
What the hell are these things? I'm going to raise my staff in the air and call out a spell, a new spell called Wind Wall. So I raise my staff and call out, "Come to me, spirits of the wind!" And raise my staff in the air, and a wall of wind gushes towards them at a high speed. I'm aiming towards the one that just got hit by the Baron's attack.
Despite having one standing directly in front of you?
Well, I don't know. I can't.
No, that's fine. You totally can.
I can't risk blowing dear Loris away.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I want to get these monsters out of my face. Make a strength saving throw.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Oh, and it says I cast it with a tiny fan. Cute. I bring out a tiny fan and I'm like, be gone!
Like one of those USB desk fans.
Thank you.
So what did they have to roll to...
They have to make a strength saving throw.
All right, one of them rolled a total of 19. The other rolled a total of 12.
Okay, so here's the problem. You made us level up, but are they saving against my spell save?
Yes, that would be correct.
Did I work that out at level 10? No.
Well, what's your current spell? What's your wisdom?
Currently at 14.
Well, let's say it's 16, right? So they had to beat at least 16. I think that's fair that you might choose to level that one up. Let's say your wisdom saving 16. So there was, what did I say? It was a 16 and a 12, I think I said. 19 and 12.
Yeah.
19 and 12.
19 and 12. So one of them holds its ground. And is there any sort of effect on a save, or is it just on?
So they take 3d8 bludgeoning damage on a failed save,
So
and half as much damage on a successful one.
Cool. Give me a 3d8.
Oh, that's right. You roll things in this game.
Yeah. Smaller flying creatures or objects that can't pass through the wall. Okay, cool.
Oh, I rolled 5?
Yeah. So unfortunately, the one sort of in the north part of this corridor just withstands it and takes about 2 force damage there, and the other one takes that full 5, and it barely, like, you notice the
full 5 damage. This is the power of level 10.
Level 10, everybody. This is where it's at. So the sort of the blurred shimmering shape around them just kind of like pulses as the wall hits it, and it does knock it a little bit, but it really didn't feel much from that. It's now the other shadow's turn. American, the one that's directly, I guess, behind you now, since you turned to help the Baron out, just launches into you with claws and bites. So it slashes across your back with its claws, and then just latches onto your neck with its teeth, and just drags you down into the ground, putting you also into a dying state. The ones either side, the ones behind the Baron, they just burst forward, and both basically spend their turn just swiping out at the Baron. Now, they manage to take a good half of your health and bring you down onto one knee, but you're still very much alive. Bill.
I've got a 20 AC if I... they just hit me.
They hit you.
20 AC, bro.
Yeah.
This
Bill.
is one of those like Final Fantasy boss battles that you know you're going to lose, huh?
Yeah.
Special music.
That was the giveaway.
I'll just kick it in now.
Don't use all your Phoenix Downs. Oh my god, it's a prop scene, okay? Don't.
You don't use any items.
Bill, over to you.
I pull the instrument from my side, and I begin to strum. And I just hit a power chord, and I just start singing, "Let the sun shine down on us. Let the sun shine down on us." And suddenly, the light of dawn shines down on a location I specify within range. Until the spell ends, a 30-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder of bright light glimmers. This light is sunlight. So I'm just going to choose it to emanate from me.
Okay.
Because of the song. And each creature in it must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 4d10 radiant on a failed save or half as much on a successful one.
And what was it? So Constitution, was it?
Correct.
And so this is going to hit... What's the radius on this one? This is quite a large radius.
This is a 30-foot radius, 40-foot.
Yeah, it's going to get everybody. All right. So the one closest to you fails. The other one rolled... the one sort of next to the south of Baron there rolled a 17. The one behind the Baron did a crit success. The one next to a fallen American failed. The one next to Loris also succeeded with a roll of 19. And the one just past that failed. So 4d10?
I get a question.
Yes.
4d10,
Does it
yes.
It must hit and harm all of our characters as well?
Yeah, each creature, sorry.
Okay, so what does that mean when I'm dead? Do I just take 2 failed? I don't know how this
That's
works.
automatic fail.
That's
Isn't it?
an automatic fail for anyone that's in a dying state.
If you're prone, you automatic fail.
So I just get 1 death
So-
saving throw fail.
I didn't
is
really
that how
think
it
this one through.
Well, theoretically, any hit when you're in a dying state is a crit, and it knocks away 2 of your saves.
I
So
think we
failed
ruled
twice
that
now.
we figured that wasn't true or something. That was...
Yeah, that was
I
argued.
think we were
Oh,
getting
that's
the
only-
worst,
sorry.
worst
So-
of the worst.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, okay. So it'll knock away 1 death saving roll for both Loris and American. Baron,
Awesome.
can you give us a Constitution saving throw, please?
I wish. Where do I... Constitution.
Constitution.
You have that, don't you?
Constitution. Okay, here we go. Save. Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa,
What did I get?
12.
a 12.
That's good.
I don't think it's good. I don't think that's enough.
It might be good for you, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's not a save.
give us a 4d10, please, Bill.
40-10, you say?
21.
21.
What's that noise?
Who's playing with a pen or something? Stop it! God. We're recording a podcast.
Why would you do that?
Probably Dracula.
That's
Dracula's getting out his clipboard.
Yeah. So you managed to damage a couple of those shadow creatures. But again, it's enough to damage them, but they still seem to be holding their position in sort of the form that they're in. You've managed to basically knock the Baron down to a couple of points of HP with that. And as you finish playing, the shadow being that was next to Loris just rushes forwards to you. It just bursts through towards you, Bill, and it bears what looks to be these enormous fangs. And in a blur, it's just completely buried in your neck. The darkness, Bill, it just starts to creep up back around you. And all that you can hear from the shadows and from the being that's in your neck is, "That'll be 2 gold pieces, please."
What's happening?
The sounds outside of the small festival tent that you find yourself in, Bill. The sounds, outside Phandalin is celebrating. It's been 3 years since the mine was brought back to them and Nesnar destroyed and the town saved. And you find yourself, Bill, in a small tent, and you look down and you can see just a small crystal ball in front of you sitting on a small table. And there's an old, withered woman with her hand out at you. 2 gold pieces.
2.
I think
It's a bargain.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. Clink, clink.
Okay, great. Bill, you pay the lady and get up and head outside of the tent. Everybody is celebrating. There's tents and things everywhere. There's food stalls. Duran selling his apples over on another little stall off to the side, and you look across. Even Jangus, the bugbear that you saved from
Angus.
Jangus from the mine, lost mine.
Lost mine.
You let him go after interrogating him for a bit, and he promised he'd do better. And here he is. He set up a small axe throwing stall within this festival. Everybody is here for the annual celebration of the time that you all saved Phandalin from destruction, basically.
Oh.
Is Boogus there?
Boogus is not.
What about Boogus?
Boogus is not here, unfortunately.
Hope Boogus didn't go evil.
The one thing that you have noticed is that there's it wasn't here earlier in the day, Bill, but there's a bit of a fog that's kind of creeping through this festival area now. But you look out and you see Mirakin and the Baron standing sort of in the middle of the festivities, and Loris is making his way back from Jankis's axe throwing stall with just this big smile on his face. And as you approach the group standing in the middle of the festivities, the fog starts to change. There's kind of a concern growing on the faces of all of the people celebrating within Phandalin. And then in this fog, there's just a smell of what can only be described as decay or death. And this fog picks up, and it almost becomes impossible to see through.
Here's Boogus.
These illusions are getting more and more real.
Yeah, you are absolutely, without a doubt, in reality now. You remember the conversation you had with the lady in the tent about being able to see a glimpse of the future. And that proved to be quite a trip. Also, although, can you really trust the fates of what you see in a crystal ball? But within seconds, this fog completely blocks everything from view, just as you reach Baron, Mirakin, and Loris. But let's move away from Phandalin at this point. Adam, are you there? Adam? Maybe not.
It's just a circle.
Oh,
is
Yep.
coming back.
Yep, I just rebooted. Yep.
Okay, cool. Hopefully you can join back into Zencaster, because I imagine you might not be able to.
Is this some kind of fantasy realm?
Just a quick question.
Yes.
Was it only Bill that was experiencing the holodeck?
Correct.
Or-
Yeah, it was just Bill
Okay.
that was experiencing that sort of look into the crystal ball.
Ooh.
I like to think of it more as the danger room of sorts.
You
Danger.
nerd.
I don't know what that is.
Adam, have you had any luck getting into Zencaster?
We got sign language.
Because, actually, it looks like he has joined in.
We can talk about it.
I'm just loading it up now. Sorry, I'm just trying to navigate between a couple of screens.
All right, cool. The best thing is that I can edit this out of the podcast. That's probably
Okay, I think I'm in. Yeah, I'm in, and it's waveforming good.
All right.
It's
All right.
waveforming good.
okay,
As
wait.
the pros say.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't have a map for this, but we find ourselves on the Bleeding Barnacle. It's a 3-masted vessel that has clearly seen better days, and it's currently moored just off the coast of off the Sword Coast. Inside the captain's quarters, we find a half-elf asleep with his tricorn hat rested over his face. The captain is wakened by a call coming from the upper deck. Captain, come quick!
What is it then? You better go check this out.
Okay, great. So your captain gets off the bed and makes his way up onto the deck. By the time he reaches the deck, the fog has started to roll in around, the Bleeding Barnacle. The rocking of the boat, normally a second nature to the captain, Captain Morley, it starts to feel unfamiliar as he starts taking steps to what seems to be merely the shadows of a few of his crewmates standing on the deck. Almost instantly, the boat ceases to rock, and his next footfall finds gravel instead of the expected wood under his feet. But he's reached his crew, or at least 4 shapes that resemble his crew. Adam, would you like to say something to your crew?
All right. Well, what is it then? I understand there's been some sort of a problem and you need the captain.
American, you hear what the captain has just said in your ear behind you. One moment you see Bill sort of making his way over towards you within this festival in your honor. The next, you're surrounded in fog and there's a voice behind you asking you about this being some kind of problem.
What is this? Where am I?
Don't remember him sounding like that.
Baron, you're hearing this as well now, but you can't really see anything more than a few obscure shapes. You know where American was standing, and you can see her shape. You can see the tall silhouette of Loris next to you, and you can sort of see Bill. He's kind of arrived, but you can't really make him out completely. And then there's just a 5th figure now, which is asking some rather calm questions.
Oh, what was the question?
Was there something in that toffee apple I just ate?
Yeah.
Did you do this, Baron?
Where is that you, American?
Yeah, Morley,
Yes.
Morley, you're not recognizing any of these voices as your crew. And like I said, you're now feeling gravel underfoot instead of what you expected to be wood. Bill.
I'm just going to strum a power chord and attempt to cast Dispel Magic.
Okay.
Just given magic has kind of come up around us, I'm just going to try to get rid of that.
Okay, cool. Do you need to roll anything? Do you need to... Is it just a thing?
I think depending on the level of it, it may or may not be effective. So if it's
Right.
very strong, then it's basically futile for me.
I won't make you... I don't know if it's a spell slot or something that you'd normally have to expend, but we'll say that you reach down and just do this massive power chord with the intent of dispelling the magic around you. And there's like a pause. Nothing seems to happen. And the rest of you just hear a beautiful power chord coming from from where Bill to stand. Morley, you've just heard like a power chord when no one on your boat would really be the kind to have any kind of instrument. But the fog starts to retract from below your feet, first of all. And you all look down and notice that there's like a well-worn gravel track underneath. Gone are the shapes of the festival stalls and tents, and and the vessel in much need of some affection. And in their place, as this fog retracts from you, are just these ghostly grey silhouettes of trees. You've found yourself just on what seems to be a small, well-worn path in some kind of wooded area.
I'm going to look down at my wine and then look back. And look at my wine again for a while.
Are you still holding your wine? That's fantastic.
Of course.
If you have a look on the map at the very far, you might have to zoom out to sort of take a look at what's revealed. There's just a small area that has been revealed. And that's all you can really see, is you can see trees on either side of you. And the forest on either side of you is just dense with fog. And these trees are just so close together, almost abnormally close together. They look like to pass through these woods would be not impossible, but it'd be kind of futile, I guess.
You're supposed to plant these sort of things like a meter apart, aren't you, American?
What's that?
You're supposed to plant these sort of things like at least a meter apart, aren't you?
Yeah, someone's done a terrible job of planning this forest. But where in the realms could we be? Is this a spell? What's happened? Someone evil has done this?
I tried to dispel some magic, but it clearly hasn't worked. Is everybody okay? Loris, are you all right?
I'm feeling very confused. I just have no idea where I am. I'm fog trees. I'm still getting over the fact that I dreamt I died. Nah, my brain is fucked.
Okay, well, that's pretty normal. So,
Morley, it's at this point that you're now seeing this group of people standing in front of you, and they all seem like strangers to you, but there's something very familiar about the half orc standing in front of you.
The half orc.
Sorry, half elf. Sorry, half elf.
Oh,
by the way, there's a half orc playing.
Oh, that's very odd.
I'll be bringing in this character of the half orc. Yeah. No, there's the half elf in front of you.
Well, I haven't felt this kind of emotion since I stopped drinking. You there, I'm sure I know you. Where do I know you from?
Bill, you almost instantly recognize that accent. But it's one that you haven't heard. That voice is one you haven't heard in decades.
Morley?
Morley, that's me. You do know me, don't you? And you must be Wilkins, I'm gonna say.
I run my hands through my hair, and I stand tall and I just say, Morley, it's me. That young scamp that used to run with you. It's Bill.
By God, Bill! Bill, is that you, is it? Oh, I knew I recognised you. I knew it wasn't the kombucha talking again. Bill, what are you doing here?
You've aged horribly.
Oh, a lot of people have said that. Thank you very much.
Adam, do you want to describe what what everyone else is seeing? How would you describe Morley?
Yeah, you're seeing a pretty kind of weathered, I think, would be a good description for both his physical appearance and his garb. Obviously, there's that lovely kind of tricorner beaten leather hat. There's a scrawly kind of beard, a dark beard, some kind of greasy, scraggly black hair, lots of wrinkles, a face with a life well lived behind it, and then kind of like a beaten up kind of admiral's coat with some brass buttons and some brown leather boots and black pants.
Cool.
Who are you?
Who am
Did you
I?
do this?
Who are you?
All right, what we can do is we could say that the you all notice that the fog behind you, you're all facing sort of west at the moment, and the fog behind you is slowly starting to push up behind you, while at the same time opening itself almost magically in front of you to the west, almost guiding you further down the path.
The fuck?
And the fog is just slowly getting closer
pirate.
behind you.
Pirate guy, what is this place?
Right, I'm gonna have to stop you there. I'm not a pirate.
You're not-
I know that you might be making that assumption, but I'm not a pirate.
Oh,
And what are you? Some sort of wizard, I suppose.
apologies.
I lean over
Oh,
and say,
apologies.
he is a pirate. He told me.
I was just going by the outfit. Sorry.
Right, well, I'm not
Do
a
you
pirate.
live here?
I'm merely a retired sea captain. Anyway,
It was very
no,
rude of me to make assumptions. Please forgive me.
it absolutely is. But don't worry, you're absolutely forgiven.
All right.
So,
Is this your this is where you live?
on this path here,
Yes,
in the
on this
fog
path.
amongst the trees, I wouldn't have thought so.
It's
No,
a
no,
weird place.
It is a weird place, so I agree with you. It's the first sensible thing you've said.
So you didn't do this?
We didn't do this. No, I'm equally as confused as I can see the big fella is.
I don't
That's
know if you
normal.
got
We
that
get
far.
used to that.
All right, so but by this time you guys are talking, this fog is now really pushing up, and there's wisps of it that is sort of coming and encroaching into that circle that you guys are currently standing within. And every time you just take a small breath of it, it's almost choking. It's quite hard to breathe as this fog starts to pick up behind you.
Have you been vaping?
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think clearly we need to get somewhere safe. This is very strange for all of us. So can we maybe hold off the rousing
I'm just going to push
How
past
do-
it and run down the path.
Yeah. I'll follow American.
I believe I
Ew,
will
this
follow.
fog's so damp.
Yeah.
I thank you for your support, American.
I think like a minute passes while Mirakin runs further down the path, and you get some distance on the fog behind you. But you've kind of realized that this path just seems to go on and on and on. And it looks like it's gonna take maybe hours to get anywhere. So we can fast forward. Oh, Mirakin.
It seems like you don't actually. I was going to say I have a druidic spell for this, but we
Do
could
it.
just
No.
continue.
I want to hear your druidic spell.
Oh, well, I slow down and stop and bring my staff out, hoping everyone will give me time. I just close my eyes and start chanting to myself, and I cast Commune with Nature.
Oh, what does this do?
Oh. I briefly become one with nature and gain knowledge of the surrounding territory. Gives me knowledge of the land within 3 miles of me.
What sort of distance are we dealing with here? Oh yeah, that should be fine. So yeah, you there's how do you see it? Do you see it as visions? Do you see it as how does Mirakin take in this?
Okay. So that's a good question. I instantly gain knowledge of up to 3 facts of my choice about any of the following subjects. So I can think about terrain, bodies of water, plants, minerals, animals, people, powerful celestials, fiends. I can sense things.
What 3 things would you like to know about Mirakin?
So I'm going to, and it says I can look for locations as well. So I'm going to see if I can sense any towns around here.
And, it's what,
And I
3
want to sense if
miles?
there's any
Booze.
powerful fiends or fae.
Fiends or
yeah.
fae? What do you so
Like I know.
like spiritual beings of some sort?
Yeah, I just want to. I'm trying to sense if there's any magical. It's kind of have to choose from these things, so I have to focus on this particular thing. So I'm going to focus on fiends because that sounds scary.
It does sound scary.
I don't want any of those in the mix.
No.
And I'm gonna open my eyes and be like, any questions, guys?
Do we know that you're looking for stuff?
What are you doing?
I'm sensing a powerful environmental magic.
Is there any like cigarettes around here?
Don't be silly.
Inside would be good.
Well, how about I'll give you some information that might help out. Like, Mira, can you close your eyes? And there's a really, really faint sense of community or a village or something. There's definitely a feeling, but it's so faint that maybe it's right on the boundaries of what you're sensing. It seems like this might be quite a way away. You're also sensing much closer a strong, angry presence in the woods kind of around you. Maybe it could be just beast. Maybe it's a beast that you're or animal, but it's an angry animal that you're sensing. And the other thing that you can sense almost as clear as the beasts is just like a dead body. You can pick up these three things.
Sensing murder.
Yeah. So this village, it seems to be coming from the direction you're currently heading. So does this dead body, and that's much stronger than this village that you're sensing. And then just all around you, the sense of these beasts.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know where we are, but it's not safe. If we follow this path, we should come to a village. Is it Phandalin? I don't know. How did we get here?
Good question. Who knows where Phandalin is from this point?
Like...
This is really weird. I'm gonna lick my finger and hold it up.
Good plan.
Try and get some sort of sense of where I am.
The one thing that you've now that you're sort of looking around for just to understand the environment, that you've noticed that fog, obviously, and there hasn't been much of a wind. Like, that fog has got its own kind of mind. There's a breeze, but the fog seems to be ignoring it.
Is it pushing us towards some sort of location? Is that what?
Yeah, it looks like the fog was pushing you towards the west.
Oh my god!
But the breeze is kind of maybe a soft northerly, strangely enough. The other thing that you notice is that it is daytime, but the sunlight that's getting to you from within the trees, the sun that is hitting you seems to be really dampened. Like, it's very dull. The sky of what you can see of it is just covered in thick cloud, and not much light is really getting through.
I hate this.
It's not what I would call dark. You can still see, but it's almost like it's on dusk.
Eesh.
But
I really had a buzz on, and now I'm feeling like coming down.
I
want
agree.
to go home.
Yeah, mid-party festival as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is stupid. Surely you would know. This must be some kind of horrible magic spell. You would know something about that, surely. You're a wizard.
Well, Morley lives here.
He doesn't look like someone who would live in a forest.
We live on the sea, you fool.
He did tell you
Well, how
that.
did you get here then?
That's a bloody good question. I'm waiting for some answers myself.
Okay, where are you from then? We're from Phandalin.
Right. Okay. I'm from a small town by the sea that you probably haven't heard of it, called
I'll try it.
Crooked Elves.
No, I don't know.
Right.
Crocodile.
I always get that reaction, and that's why I always say you haven't heard of it.
Okay.
I've just quietly got my eye on him. I don't completely trust that he isn't the wizard that transported us here.
He gives you an attempted reassuring wink, but it comes off like weird.
Oh, that was a weird. What's he doing with his face?
While we're walking, I can try and do detect magic. It takes 10 minutes as a ritual.
I will say you've got plenty of time to cast such a ritual. You could probably do it while walking. It's not going to take. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you guys continue down the path, and 10 minutes pass, and it's not that there is magic all. It's not that there's magic all around you, but there's something off about just the environment. There's something. So it glows or something when something is magical.
Yeah, I
as
can
you
see.
walk, right?
Yeah.
Everything has like a kind of glow to it while you're doing this, but it's not the same glow that you've seen when you've previously cast this. It's like it could be magic, but it might be something else entirely. Something
I don't know how to describe this, guys.
Yeah, that like the fog is what seems to be reacting. Like either side of this path, the woods are just filled with this fog, and the fog really encapsulates that color a bit more than sort of everything else. But everything has a bit of that glow to it.
Seems like we're being herded.
And you look back, and the fog is still following now at your pace, maybe 100 feet behind you, but it seems to be keeping pace with you. What we're going to say is that it's been a good 5 hours of making your way through this, down this path, basically. You guys are welcome to sort of maybe chuck out things that you might have been talking about on that 5-hour journey. Maybe you've given, maybe Bill, if you wanted to, you could have sort of informed the crew about this bizarre vision you had, or what you remember of it. You could sort of maybe have told Morley a little bit about yourselves. What would the conversation consist of this journey through this forest?
Well, I think I'd maybe give Morley a bit of an update on my life and things that have been happening since he and I parted ways, and I'm doing a lot better now. I'm not enslaved, which is really nice.
That is a plus.
Which basically means that I get to go and do things that I like, which is really great. What have you been doing?
Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. I've been a bit somewhat of a carter myself. I've been carting things here and there and all around the high seas. I've had some adventures, boy, let me tell you. I've had some low moments as well, that's for sure. I'm actually a recovering alcoholic.
I don't know why I laughed at
finally gave up the old firewater.
Oh, I have some time ago now, but tell you what, I've got this new drink I'm all into. All about it. The health benefits are quite something. It's kombucha, they call it.
Oh,
Kombucha, that sounds good.
Tell me more about this kombucha.
Kombucha. Everyone loves to hear more and more about kombucha. It's basically a drink that's made from a SCOBY, or a mother, as some people call it. And it's a fermented drink full of all this super vitamins and all that sort of thing. Good for what ails you.
Scopy.
I've got some on me. Who'd like a sip? Who'd like to be the first to try some kombucha?
Are you sure it's not alcoholic? I mean, fermentation is generally a sign of the fact that it's alcoholic.
No. It's zero alcohol. I've made absolute sure of that. It's more of a sour, dead taste.
Well, you sell it so well. I'm sure I should try some
Have a swig. Go on.
At a later juncture.
Fine. Suit yourself. And then Morley takes a big sip.
Loris, what's Loris doing on this traversal through the woods?
Well, Loris is headed in the clouds. Like, he's 1.5 feet taller than everybody, so his head is in the mist and just looking around, kind of wondering what the hell's going on. Listening to this crazy sounding half-elf discussing some ridiculously fermented drink, which sounds like beer, but not beer. And Loris is just really weirded out by the whole shit. And it's like, I don't know, elves talk too much.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, Loris is just being his usual quiet self
Okay.
and observing things, and unless someone directly addresses him and asks a question from him specifically, he's just kind of keeping guard and watching what's going on.
I think in that case, Loris, you're probably the first to notice that up ahead, sort of jutting out from the impenetrable woods that has been like keeping you on each side. Are there just these huge stone buttresses looming in the fog up ahead? They seem to just have these huge iron gates hanging off the stonework, and as you get closer, you notice the bars themselves are incredibly rusted over, and there's like a bunch of morning dew sort of still clinging onto these bars. There are two headless statues of armed guardians flanking the gate, and their heads are now lying among the weeds at their feet. The statues greet you only with silence.
Shh. Hush, pirate person. Shush. Trying to think.
You all now see just this enormous gate in front of you.
Is this the village I sensed?
No, not even close.
Oh. I never recalled seeing anything like this in Phandalin.
What's
This is a magical prank. It's gone too far.
I don't think
Absolutely.
we're in Phantom anymore, American.
Oh my god. What's the gate itself made of? Is it iron or?
Yeah, the gate is just made of iron. Yeah, it's a big, huge iron gate.
And it looks disused and broken and.
It's still like closed.
It's closed.
It's closed at the moment. Yeah, and you guys are currently maybe a good 50 feet away from it at this point.
Oh. Anyone seen these gates before?
Nay.
No. Nay. I like architecture and stuff. Do I recognize this sort of gate?
It's not something you've seen before. The statues, even like you take a look over the statues, and they're not representing any figure that you've heard of or that you have any sort of recollection of.
Oh, what do they look like?
They're almost too busted up to really get too much detail. They're quite worn. The heads are, as I mentioned, sort of sitting at their feet.
So they look ancient.
Yeah,
like weather worn.
They're wearing. They look to be some sort of guardians. They're wearing, from what you can make out, protective armor and stuff like that. But there's parts of them have broken off, and there's really not many details to go by.
So, a gate's supposed to keep people out. Is it? Do they look bad, like you would, or do they look like guardians of good or something?
It's
no
hard
way of telling.
They don't look like they don't look evil. They don't. There's nothing menacing about. They're not like gargoyles or anything like that. They are just like they look to be have once been like humans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it look like we can open it, or is it locked?
I think you'd need to get much closer to check that out.
I'm just concerned that this fog is following us, guys.
And it is, now that you've sort of stopped and you're taking in this thing, the fog is sort of pushing up closer behind you.
I'm going to edge away. Sorry.
Loris, what was that?
I would like to approach the gate.
Yeah, so Loris sort of just picks up speed and sort of moves with a bit of confidence towards the gate. And you're about 15 feet away from the gate before you hear just the screeching of these iron gates just slowly opening up towards you, basically beckoning you through.
Oh, did someone open?
Good lord.
It's like the new Phandalin Mall.
I hope so.
Automatic, yay!
Oh, grand opening!
This is freaky.
And
so do we see anyone?
There's no one around. I think Loris kind of shouts out as well, just to see if like if there was anyone there, and there's no response. There's also like no echo to Loris's voice bouncing around. It's just complete silence, except for what was the screeching of those iron gates opening. And past the gate, you can see that the path that you're traveling on just slowly curves around to the left. Much further down.
It's still daylight yet, or are we sort of in some darkness?
You've traveled for about what felt like around 5 hours. The sun is now higher, and it seems higher in the sky, and you're getting a bit more light down on you now, but it's still incredibly subdued.
Okay, I would like to. I'm just going to put my axe away, and I'm going to bring out my Lightbringer, because I have a memory that it had some light thing going on last time I used it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to bring it out, and I'm just going to Lightbringer, just so I've got a bit of steady light in front of me, so maybe it can dispel some of the gloominess. And
it gives you a little more detail to things, but it's not that it's dark. It's not hard to see. It's just not overly bright.
That's fine. I like bright.
Yeah, and Lightbringer lights up the area around you with a bit more intensity. American.
Can I roll perception to see if there's anyone that would have, like, to just be someone's obviously either opened those gates or they're magical, and I want to see if I can sense anything in my surroundings.
Yeah, sure. Give me investigation roll.
Investigation.
Well,
I rolled perception by mistake.
Are you going to go and investigate things, or are you just kind of like listening out?
I was kind of just seeing if I could sense anything.
Okay, we'll go with perception then.
First.
We'll go with
see
perception.
if I could hear anything, see anything.
There's really nothing. The trees are incredibly still. There's no. It doesn't seem to be any specific footprints or markings in this worn path that you're traversing. Morley, but yeah. So you haven't really. There's nothing. There's no one around. There's no one around but you five. Morley.
This might be a weird question, but can I smell the sea or hear any seabirds?
No, not at all. This could possibly be the furthest inland Morley has ever been.
You feel very uncomfortable about this.
Yes, I do too. I mean, these gates are just magical. They just open to anyone who approaches them. I mean, what kind of gate is that? It's not going to keep anyone out of it. Just automatically opens. So what's the point?
It's like the opposite of a gate.
I can't hear anyone. I don't think there's anyone around here. Exactly, it's the opposite of a gate. Very suspicious.
What's the
I'm
opposite
going
of a gate?
to start walking towards it because I am actually more freaked out by the mist slowly encroaching towards my back.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to keep in front of the mist, and I'm okay to go through the gate, I think.
Yeah,
but I will be looking around. And I'm ready to pounce.
You walk through these gates, and they dwarf you with the size that they're in. And you slowly make your way through the stonework entrance as well. And as you progress through, nothing really happens. You're just on the other side of this gate now, and you look around, and it's just quite similar to what was on the other side of the gate, really. You're just now on the western side of the gate. Bill.
Hey.
Byram. And I do hope we're on a first name basis by now.
It's not my first name. It's my last name.
It's taking a long time. Is everything kosher here? Is it?
Well, I'm glad you're talking about my Jewish upbringing. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty.
I mean, is it? What's going on?
It's fine over this side. It's fine over this side.
It's
Come on
clearly
over.
completely
I kind of
spooky
feel-
in general.
I do kind of feel like we lean on you for understanding the occult, and
I can't find any occult stuff. This is just a weird gate.
It's just a gate.
I
this
looked at it.
whole situation though. Have you figured anything out?
The only time this sort of thing's happened to me is when I've just taken way too much drugs and then it turned out it wasn't real. But this one seems to be true. So I have no bearing. I have no idea what's going on.
I've only taken some drugs.
Now,
And I've just had a toffee apple, so I shouldn't really
And
be
that
tripping
was
at
at
all.
the request of Agatha.
This fog is now pushing up again at the backs of the four
I'm
people
moving.
on the
I'm
I'm so
moving.
eastern
sick of this
side.
clingy fog.
I'm moving.
Can I use my gust cantrip to try and just like shush?
You do that and it does
Shush.
nothing. Just,
Oh, how
just like,
spooky.
just like the wind, the small breezes that you've been feeling haven't been affecting the fog. The gust cantrip just passes through it as if it wasn't there.
Jeez.
In my opinion, as a druid, this fog is unnatural and very spooky.
Definitely.
Don't be afraid of the fog. There's plenty of fogs around. I've seen so many fogs in my life. I've lost count of all the fogs.
Well, have you ever seen a fog that doesn't react to wind?
Aye, once.
Okay.
I'm
We've got a
impressed.
fog
Suddenly.
expert here.
It just had a funny smell to it. But
Oh,
not like this fog.
It's following us. It's
Yeah.
weird.
hate it.
American,
Let's just keep going.
I've
Agreed.
been walking for 5 hours now, and I'm really getting a lot of steps in.
I know. I'm getting
No.
quite annoyed.
Yeah, that too. I'm going to keep walking.
And the
I'm
Baron,
not waiting.
and the Baron just like turns and starts walking further down the path. The rest of you following along?
Yes.
I'm going to keep pace with Baron and tell him I sensed a dead body.
Really?
It's kind of your thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Undead or dead?
So, dead, just regular dead, really.
We could use that.
So maybe that can inspire you to keep going.
Okay. Can I smell
Maybe a
it?
treat, a carrot on a stick, if you will.
It's so motivational. Of you.
So you guys continue down this path, and the tree trunks, as mentioned earlier, they just seem so unnaturally close to one another. And the woods have just the silence of this old sort of forgotten grave, but it exudes, I love the wording here, it exudes the feeling of an unvoiced scream.
Whoa.
Baron, you asked if you could smell anything. It's maybe like 10 minutes down this path that you do actually notice the scent of death on the air.
Oh.
Oh no.
So something that's died recently, or
That's in a state of
Don't mind.
decay.
Oh no.
it's a video game. Okay. I'm going to head towards it, but cautious because wild animals are drawn towards dead bodies, I think. Does anyone else smell that?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Awful.
Yeah, I think
Probably what I sensed earlier.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. American, you're very certain that this is what you sensed earlier. And so Baron, you kind of head towards the edge of the path, and maybe get 5 to 10 feet in before you find a half-buried human corpse in the underbrush. The young man appears to be a commoner, or he's wearing kind of just rags, and his muddy clothes are torn and just raked with claw marks. It looks like crows have just been at the body, just like picking out eyes and bits of his cheek, and just any parts that the crows can get at. And also his body just seems to be surrounded by paw prints as well. The man has obviously been dead for several days, and in his right hand is clutching a crumpled up envelope.
Oh. Okay, that seems to be important to him. Excuse me. I'm just going to gingerly reach down and say sorry for the intrusion, and I'm going to take the paper,
Okay,
and
cool.
examine it.
Yeah, great. I'll show it to you.
And I'll turn around to everyone and say, "Look."
Baron, can you read the letter to the group?
Yeah. Where is it?
It should have just shown up in Roll20.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Oh, okay.
Read it for us,
It's in
please.
the script.
Read it, wizard man. Read it.
Oh no, is it in cursive?
Oh,
thing.
it's real.
I think if you scroll down,
If you scroll down,
see
you can see.
regular text.
Yeah.
It's the
Oh,
cursive
oh.
of Strahd.
Okay, because it was very scripty. It's a small JPEG. He seems to be holding a small JPEG. Okay. Hail thee. It reads thus: Hail thee of might and valor. I, the Burgomaster of Barovia, Burgomaster.
I love a burger.
Yeah,
I am hungry, actually. Carry on.
the mayor of Barovia. The Burgomaster of Barovia sends you honor with despair. My adopted daughter, the fair Irina Kolyana, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. For over 400 years, this creature has drained the lifeblood of my people. Now my dear Irina languishes and dies from an unholy wound caused by this vile beast. He has become too powerful to conquer. So I say to you, give us up for dead and encircle this land with the symbols of good. Let holy men call upon their power that the devil may be contained within the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves and save the world from this evil fate of ours. There is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed for a better life. Signed, Kolyan Indirovich, Burgomaster.
So this letter was being held by this commoner who had obviously been attacked and dragged into the side of the path.
And have we heard of any of these places or people before?
None of these places or names of these people are familiar to any of you.
Oh no.
Read the bit about wealth again.
Okay, this is a little bit about... Apparently this place is very rich. But it sounds like there's a vampire in here. Do I know what a vampire is?
I'd say that you've heard of a god going by the name of Vampire.
Okay. So there was an adopted daughter of this person. So it's not this commoner. We're guessing this person is holding this note, running to get help or something.
Correct, yeah.
And they're saying the fair Irina Kolyana, and she's been bitten by a vampire. And what I've heard about vampires, if you get bitten by a vampire, you become a vampire. And this vampire's been here for 400 years. So that's a really embedded vampireness.
Embedded vampireness. But where are we and how did we get here?
Yeah, it's Barovia. So I've never heard of Barovia. Anyone else heard of Barovia?
I've never heard of it.
No.
I just want to
never
go back
even
to the fair.
Heard of a burgomaster.
Everyone's favorite kind of master.
Bill, what you saying to me?
So, Mr. Vampire expert, what's the downside
To what?
to this? To everybody being vampires?
Oh, being a vampire. What's the downside of being a vampire?
Yeah, was it what?
Yeah, that was a good question. I think it's bad for everyone that's not a vampire.
It does say the power of the devil. That's usually bad.
Usually. I don't like to judge. Let holy men call upon their power that the devil may be contained within the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves and save the world from this evil fate of ours. So they're obviously, if they're going to seal it off, why do they have gates that automatically open?
I'm getting mixed signals. Is anyone here a holy man, perchance? I'm certainly not. I don't know what has to be restricted to holy men, but okay.
Holy fuck.
I think
Yeah, so we've learned the Barovians are sexist.
They don't even notice.
I think the as you guys earlier made your way through those gates, when the last of you passed through, the gates just started screeching again and closing solidly behind you.
Oh, okay.
I should have mentioned that.
That would be good.
Earlier. I'll even go as far as to say when you turned to check the gates, they wouldn't budge.
Okay.
Could we just walk around the stone pillar?
No.
I'm not afraid of a gate.
The woods were encased too closely around this entranceway. And it wasn't until the fog started pushing through that gate that you made your way further down this path and into Baron finding this body.
Look, I just say we press on to the next town, figure out where the hell we are, and get back to Phandalin. It's none of my business what's going on here. It sounds awful.
Absolutely.
Mm.
I am a little bit concerned about how this man died, so that we don't get the same treatment. Apparently, there's paw marks. Did anyone recognize paw marks?
I'd say American
I
might
wonder if
recognize.
anyone here knows about animals.
Hmm.
Yeah, American, you just look down at these
Yeah, do you want me to try and... Yeah.
You look down and they look like wolf prints for you, but they're much larger than any wolf print you'd seen before.
Big wolf.
I've actually got a question.
Mm-hmm.
A meta question.
Oh,
Were we only level 10 for Bill's vision?
correct.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Because I'm still on my level 10 there.
Right, no, you're definitely level 5 again. Now, that was just for...
Okay,
So should you have been able to do that amazing spell where you could figure out...
Oh, certainly not.
Okay,
no.
well, that's great. Okay.
In my
thought it
defense,
was
the
good.
DM never told me I wasn't level 10 anymore.
I thought it was apparent, but I obviously needed to let people know. That's okay. That's all right. You got some free info. Bill.
Oh, it was better than my 5 damage spell.
yeah.
I
That's fine.
consider it a consolation prize.
That's totally fine. Bill.
I like to think I know everyone in the party relatively well. Morley, you're the newest, but I'm by far the closest thing we have to a holy man. And I ain't no holy man. So it's not good. This is not good.
Druids, aren't they like holy as far as the forest goes?
You. I appreciate the compliment.
They have like.
I'm not a man, so what could I possibly
true.
do?
Yeah.
I was taking it pretty literally, to be honest.
Yeah?
If we have a Stonehenge or something.
I love a good hinge.
I think,
Druid,
I think
fully into that.
as you guys are sort of talking about who is the holiest, you hear the howling of a wolf from within the forest. Just a lone howl echoes out from within the forest.
That seems fine. We should just...
At least there's only one. Let's go. Is it behind us? Did you say?
It's coming from, if you're facing sort of down the path, it's coming from your left in the same direction that this body was found, but just further, much further into the woods.
Aren't wolves pack creatures?
They're what? Pack creatures, yes.
Pack creatures. They travel
Yes, there's
together.
likely to be more than one.
And almost too well timed. There's another howl that is returned from your right.
Oh dear.
Just a quick question. This thing's half buried. Does it look like it was buried by a creature, or it buried itself and then died, or what?
It looks, I think, if you give me an investigation roll.
Oh, okay. My setup is not in optimal things anymore. Investigation.
Correct.
Here we go.
Yeah, cool.
What did I get?
14.
Oh, yeah.
14's good. So you realize that it looks like it's been buried in the same sort of way that a dog might bury a bone. There's been sort of like digging, and then it has been sort of dragged into that hole, and it's been partially covered.
I think if this wolf shows up, it's going to go after your boners.
We can have this one.
I like that the podcast listeners can't see what you just did, and all they can hear is, yeah, they can have this one.
So Lawrence has been getting up to mischief in the meantime, huh? All right.
Just holding on to his junk from like through his loincloth.
Oh, no. Finally, he speaks up, and it's just completely obscene.
Can have this boner. Sorry for bringing it up.
Morley, you had your hand up. What's up?
You mentioned he was holding this envelope. Is there anything else of use that we could, any kind of shield, any weaponry or anything like that?
He was holding nothing.
Okay.
he was very much a commoner with barely rags to his on his body anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. A third howling.
I'm moving.
We should really be making tracks.
Okay, good.
Let's get out of here.
Okay. It's only another half hour before you sort of start reaching a clearing in the woods. Let me just draw something out here for you now. The fog still is stopping you from sort of seeing much further than, a few, maybe a 100-foot away from the path, and it just turns into these grass fields where there is just a meter of fog hugging the ground, and then just walls of fog either side, stopping much exploration off that path. There are some shadows way off in the distance in front of you that look to be possibly some sort of buildings.
Buildings.
Right.
People. They'll help us.
So let's just reveal a bit more. You continue your way down until you can take in a little bit more of this village in front. So let's move you onto another map. Okay, so the gravel road that you've been following leads to this village. It's got tall houses that are just as dark as tombstones. Nestled among these solemn dwellings are a handful of closed-up shops. Every door, every window seems to be closed. There doesn't seem to be much movement, and the fog is thick down this entrance way into this village as well. A soft whimpering draws your eye toward a pair of children standing in the middle of an otherwise lifeless street.
Morley calls out, "Hello there!"
You notice that the two kids, as you get a little closer, it looks to be a young girl and an even younger boy. After shushing the boy, the girl turns to you all and says, "Where are we? There's a monster," and points sort of north at this crossroads. "There's a monster in our house."
We should help.
And you guys make your way sort of towards this crossroads that these kids are standing at, and follow where she's pointing. And you can see, let's just build this a little bit more as well. You can see she's pointing to this tall brick row house that's seen better days. Its windows are dark. It's got this gated sort of fence on the ground floor, and you can see that the little gate out the front is slightly ajar. The houses on all other sides seem to be completely abandoned, with their windows and doors boarded up. There's a monster in our house. There's a monster. And the
little girl. I'm sure there's no monster.
And the little boy whimpers at her side and just nods. And the girl looks back to you. Yeah, it's a scary monster in our house.
What kind of monster? What does it look like?
I don't know. We've just heard the monster.
Where's your mummy and daddy?
I think they're trapped in the house in the basement. I think the monster's gonna hurt my parents.
Okay. Well,
Where's the house? Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard enough. I'm rushing
Bill
in.
runs.
Bill runs. Yeah.
Yeah. Towards the house.
I'll follow Bill as well.
Okay. Are you leaving the kids there? Are you bringing them along? What are you? Just leaving them there and running towards the house?
Yes.
That was
We just leave the kids.
Oh,
We don't
leaving the
bring
kids.
them to the monster.
I'm
stay there.
Was the danger that they said, so
yeah. Okay. Cool.
probably not great for them to be nearby.
Yeah. You guys run past them, and the girl just gives the younger brother a big hug. and says, "Thank you. You please take care of my parents." And yeah, Morley.
I kneel down and say, "Now, if there's any monsters in that house, we'll clear them right out for you. You just stay back, okay?"
"Oh, okay, Mister. Thank you so much." And you find yourself at the entrance to this. Let's have a look. Can we bring you onto here? Oh, yep. There's the 5 of you. So you might just want to zoom out to find the uncovered part of this map.
Holy shit.
All right, so yeah, you're standing in front of this old, weathered house, and again, everything about it is quite dark. The walls are dark. It's very run down on the outside, and there's just a wrought iron gate with hinges on one side, sort of blocking the entrance into this house. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You can see like past this small gate. Looks to be sort of these big oaken doors.
Can we push the gate open?
Yeah, and it's you find it unlocked, and it just opens with this sort of creak as you open it outwards towards you, leading into this thing. You can see there are oil lamps sort of hanging in this area, hanging like suspended via chains, each side of this giant oaken door.
I'm gonna whisper to Bill. Shh! Do you hear anything?
Yeah, Bill. You press your ear up to this big oaken door, and there's nothing you can really hear going on in this house at this point in time.
I shake my head back at American.
All right, let's try to open the doors.
Yeah,
Look through the window while they're doing that.
all of the windows are just black. They're just black.
Dirty.
It's scum. It's like a buildup of dust and scum that's from both inside and outside. So you can't really see inside this place. By the way, it's 2 stories high from the outside. It's quite a tall building as well.
Oh, 2 stories.
Yeah.
I wave Loris over.
Is it 2 stories or is it bigger than that? Let's have a quick look. Sorry. It looks like to be. Sorry, it's 3 floors, and what looks like a possible half floor above it, like maybe an attic area. Let's bring up a picture of it. Let's show.
Rich.
They're definitely not looking after it. Whoever lives here. So can I show this to you guys? Here we go. Show to players. Show to everyone. This is what is standing in front of you.
Death House's features. Death House.
I kind of wish it hadn't shown that name, but yeah.
Wow, okay. So it's called Death House. That's not ominous at all.
It's just Mr. and
looks
Mrs.
good.
Diath that live
Oh,
there.
I
That's
see.
all.
The
Yeah.
Diaths live there. Got
The
it.
Diath house.
I'm sure there's
It used
nothing
to be
bad
a
in there.
rugby league player called Jason Death.
There we
So
go.
I choose to pronounce it like Jason Death.
Yeah, it's the Diath house.
It's the death house.
Bill?
Can I wave Loris over?
Yeah, for sure, Loris.
So I've been pressing my ear up against the wall, and I haven't heard anything. And I kind of wave Loris over.
Loris, are you reacting to this at all?
I'm beside you going, yeah.
I just become more fervent as he ignores my wave.
So seeing the little man waving, I'm just gonna step across and nudge him, look down.
He shrugs.
He shrugs.
If he's next to me, I'm just going to point at the door, point at his shoulder, and just go, 3, as we both kick in the door and he shoulders it.
All right, Loris, are you getting in on that action?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rather than holding it, I'm just going to kick it because
Okay, cool.
Shoulder door is annoying.
Yeah, you guys both put a bit of effort into this door, and it opens easily. And it just sort of it opens to reveal a relatively small foyer area, because all fancy houses have foyers as well. And as you sort of look in, you can see that up against the wall on your right, there's a shield with a coat of arms, and there's like a couple of portraits on either side of that coat of arms. These what look like incredibly rich aristocratic people, and in front of you, past those doors that you've sort of kicked in, are these mahogany framed double doors. Yes, Bill.
So I was expecting a lot more in this room.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I kicked in, rolled forward with my guitar at the ready. I just kind of aimed it in front of me and then aimed it to the side, saw there was no threats, and I was like, oh. And I was pretty disappointed.
Yeah.
Loris is just watching this and like, what are you doing?
As if a SWAT team was clearing a house,
Mm-hmm.
and they kicked in a door, and they're like, "Oh, there's no one in there."
This is very similar to your other SWAT team move. Remember that? SEAL teams or like Walrus Team 6 or something, and we couldn't open the door and we had to knock.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's American up to at the moment?
After that, she strolls forward to stand next to Bill and just kind of places a hand on his shoulder and nods at him so he doesn't feel so embarrassed. And then is again listening out for any sounds.
I think instead of sounds, you've noticed just how amazingly, immaculately clean this foyer is. It's spotless.
Oh.
It's absolutely spotless. There's not dust to be seen. The coat of arms and the shield are just glinting, and they're just absolutely shining. It looks like it's been recently polished. Everything in here is pristine. American.
I actually do have a spell prepared that it is not a level 10 spell.
Yeah.
That I actually do have access to.
Okay, that's good.
And I speak out loud to everyone around me and says, I have a way of finding any traps that may be in this area. Do you mind if I investigate?
Oh, please do.
Be my guest.
I will. So I close my eyes and grab my staff and sense anything in the vicinity. So I can sense anything. Oh, this spell's really crap, actually, just so you know.
Oh, no.
That's
just
good.
so you know.
Yeah, no.
It's incredibly crap now that I'm reading it.
I'm excited to hear how crappy it is.
Just guess how crap it could possibly be, what the range is.
5 foot.
It's like
Within line of sight.
Within line of sight.
Never frickin' mind.
And you're
okay.
currently standing outside, are you? Like, that's where your
No,
token is.
I'm in the room, but I mean...
You've got to
okay.
move your token.
I'm still gonna do it, but it's probably not gonna do anything.
You can search this room for traps if you'd like.
I mean, I just kind of did.
Yeah, you.
I thought it was going to be a better spell than that. Take me back to level 10 where I could do 5 damage.
There are no traps in this room.
Can you hold on to it though? Like, is that concentration?
That's a good question. It just says no. It's actually instantaneous. So it's actually incredibly crap beyond belief.
Well, I mean,
that's good.
That's great.
Unless, of course, you're standing in a room where
I can sense a trap if it is literally right in front of me. You're welcome.
Yeah,
you could poke it with a stick.
That's important.
I mean, that is pretty important. if you're in a dungeon and you're looking down a corridor and you want to be like, are there any traps in front of us here? You know, that's pretty good. Maybe not in a 10 by 15 foot foyer, but it was worth checking.
Not at the start of a Death house.
Death, not in the Deaths would never put any sort of traps in their house for sure.
I trust them implicitly. What was I thinking? Never mind.
Morley, what's Morley?
Maybe I'll do that when I can see down a long hallway.
Don't forget that there is a monster in this house as far as these kids are concerned. There are parents possibly trapped in the basement in this house.
Yes.
Morley just calls out, "Bill, big fella, you're right in there."
Yeah, we're fine.
No traps here.
Morley turns around and gives the thumbs up to the kids.
And the kids, now a wee way away, aren't really excited by that thumbs up at all.
The youth of today, ungrateful.
Let's keep going. We could do more than one room tonight if we're lucky.
Just to break that momentum.
Yeah.
Can I understand the coat of arms a little bit?
Yeah. It looks to be a stylized like golden windmill, on a red field. That's your coat of arms.
So it's not a pair of scythes on a field of black?
No. Stylized golden windmills
Okay.
on a field of red.
I mean, sure. I'm going to open the door.
Okay, good. American, you open the door. Let's just reveal this area as well. What was it? What were you pointing at, Bill? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
The Baron's there for me, so.
Oh, he's different. Sorry. I'm going to cast Mage Armor. That's all.
Okay, cool. And that just bumps up your AC a bit?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. American, you open the door and just walk into this immaculate main hall of this house. It runs the entire width of the sort of the house from left to right, and to the left of the entrance is just this what is it? A beautiful black marble fireplace, and on the right side of this room is just this sweeping red marble staircase. Everything is just beautiful. Above the fireplace, there's a beautifully shiny and polished longsword, and that too seems to have that windmill sort of design worked into the hilt.
Okay.
Bill.
Red staircase. That's quite the dramatic statement.
I'm just going to follow up behind Loris and just stick with the big guy.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Bill and Loris are pretty much... Bill's basically within Loris's armpit at any point during this journey, by the sounds of things, for protection. Yeah, and there seems to be a couple of doors just sort of off to the left of the staircase, if you're looking at the staircase.
The staircase goes up, doesn't it?
The staircase goes up, that's right.
Okay, so... Right.
Is there an obvious door to what would be what would appear to be the basement, given that's where the parents are meant to be?
I mean, if you can describe what a basement doorway looks like. I mean, you can see that there are the big double door that you walked through. There seems to be 5 exits out of this room. If you're looking at the staircase, 3 to your left, and 4 to your left, and 1 more to your right.
Everybody just open doors, look for stairs.
I'm just going to peep into this one.
You're going to take a little peep.
A little peep.
Just a little peep. Okay, yeah, you sort of push the door open and inside it looks to be like possibly like a hunter's den, like mounted above another ornate fireplace is a stag's head, and positioned around the outskirts of the room are just like 3 stuffed wolves. There are 2 beautifully padded chairs draped in animal furs sort of facing towards the fire. An oak table with a... let's have a look. An oak table supporting a cask of wine, and a couple of goblets sitting next to that cask of wine as well. Everything just... And there's this amazingly elaborate chandelier hanging from the ceiling. And that too just looks pristine.
I wonder if they're leasing. We can get a room here. This is nice, but it doesn't look like there's any doorway down, does there, in that room?
No, there's a couple of blacked out windows, and a couple of cabinets are in this room as well.
I'm going to make a mental note that there's wine in this room to come back later.
Yeah, just a sweet cask of wine.
No monsters then. Okay. I'll take a door. Okay. Any door.
Which door are you taking?
The one that I'm next to.
Cool. Are you just sort of opening up? Are you taking a little peep? What are you doing?
I'm gonna peek in, but I'm on the alert for monsters.
Okay, great. You creak that door open, and you've just found yourself like a little cloakroom. There's a couple of black cloaks hanging from hooks on the wall. There's a top hat sitting on like a high shelf within this little cabinet area.
Okay. No monsters in the closet.
No monsters in the closet.
Good. Someone else want to open a door?
Bill?
Don't let me do all the work now.
Seeing a cloak and a top hat in this closet. Can I
Oh no.
Can you have them?
Yeah.
You can.
I'm gonna smack his hand as soon as he reaches towards them.
You're like.
Why are you taking these people's clothes?
Is stealing from a children's family something Bill would do?
Probably.
Well,
It's their inheritance, Bill.
disguising myself as one of the family, something that might help me against the monsters.
If you want
That's
to
a
take,
stretch, Bill.
if you
If you want
want
to get stuck in a basement.
if you want to take a cloak and a top hat from this cupboard, you're welcome to try for sure.
I think he just wants the top hat, really.
Okay. I'd like to,
mean, I
I'd like
do as
to
well.
attempt to disguise myself as a Deeth.
One of the deets.
One of the Deeths.
Need an old windmill for that shit.
Yeah, you're welcome to don one of these capes and a top hat. Yeah, for sure, we can do that. When you get a chance, add that to your inventory, I guess. What's next, Captain Morley? What's Morley checking out in this grand hall?
Was that fire on? Was that a crackling fire?
No. The fireplace is not currently lit.
Okay.
It's actually it'll tell me exactly what's happening here.
Roaring fire.
Because it does give
The
us
room is on
information
fire.
about like heights of rooms and stuff like that.
Oh, that's good because I was going to get my T-square out.
No. There's no it hasn't been specified that anything is really lit or on, unless it specifies. None of the rooms. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we got it.
Right.
Okay.
There's
I'm
no
going to
fire.
open another door if you're not careful.
Well,
Okay.
All
What I'll say is it's not lit, but it looks like it's in working condition.
okay. I just wanted to check it was lit, basically.
Yeah.
Lit. Molly's feeling pretty confident now, and like he was initially skeptical about the monster, then kind of maybe thought maybe there is, but as these doors are opened, he's growing in confidence. So he kind of blurts out, "See, there's no monsters here," and then boldly kicks open this door that he's right in front of, next to the cloakroom.
And there is a giant monster. No, there's not. That would have been almost too beautiful. That was what you were hoping for. Don't lie. You open up into what looks to be the dining room of the house, and again, everything is dust free. All of the wood is polished beautifully. There's wood panel. The whole room is like wood paneled. In fact, most of these rooms are wood paneled. There's a beautiful carved mahogany table sitting in the middle of this room with 8 beautifully decadent chairs, a massive crystal chandelier hanging above. And there's a framed, again, another fireplace, another working fireplace, which is not currently lit, with a beautiful framed painting of like an alpine vale, like above that.
A Bob Ross.
Morley turns around.
The only monster I see here is greed.
I grew up in a house like this, and I reckon that the basement would be somewhere around the servants' quarters. What do you reckon? Where's the servants lit at?
Where would that be, Baron?
Well, I only see one or two doors we haven't opened.
Is there a tiny door that makes people bend over and get a hunchback?
Not that you can see. All these doors seem normal sized.
I'm going to try this door.
The one on the right? Yeah, okay, cool. Let's open up that one as well.
Is that a big curtain there along the...
let's have a quick look. It looks to be a big tapestry. So the other thing that Morley picks up on is just this big tapestry, and it's showing hunting dogs and some horse-mounted aristocrats chasing after a wolf. It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunningly made.
Wolf motif.
Yeah.
More sweets and rich.
The Baron, however, has found what looks to be like a small kitchen area with and it's pretty tidy. It's got dishware and cookware and utensils all neatly placed on shelves, and it's got a cutting board and rolling pin. There's a stone dome-shaped oven standing near that northern wall.
Does it look like anyone's been cooking in here recently? Or?
It doesn't look like anyone's used it. It looks like it's been cleaned recently, that stove. It looks like everything's been cleaned and put away quite nicely. What food there is, it looks to be really just fresh as well. There's a small, as you sort of walk around, there's a small pantry just to the, if I click it, just to the sort of south side of that kitchen area as well. And here, and all the food in there just looks to be pretty fresh.
Fresh food, guys.
Oh, sorry. Actually, sorry. That's a small dumbwaiter. Actually, the pantry.
Does it go down?
The pantry area is there. Morley, you had your hand up.
Yeah. I'd like to quickly kind of turn around and briskly walk out of the house and back down the street to the little girl and just ask. Wait, just hear me with this is a very quick aside. I'd like to ask the little girl when the last time she was that she saw her parents.
I don't. I think this morning but I only heard them crying out from the basement.
Thanks for that. And then I kind of leg it back to the house.
Okay, mister.
Where's the basement?
Did you ask where the basement is?
Where is
No,
it?
he didn't. He did not ask that.
He did not
Just
ask.
back now.
He comes back.
Just dart back.
Just sweating now.
Okay.
Where?
So they heard the parents this morning. They were crying in the basement.
Did they say where it was?
It's probably downstairs, if I had to guess.
And
I am going to look through every
how do
room
we
in this
access
house.
this magical downstairs place?
We're on the ground floor.
Magical downstairs place.
Downstairs.
Can I
Morley's
can
got
I
a
just
magical downstairs place. Sorry,
Oh.
American.
Hi.
We,
spoilers for his
American.
character?
Loris has got a boner.
It's like put that away. There's nothing here. Anyway, I can't see any downstairs kind of leading steps in any room we've set foot in, can I?
No, you guys haven't really stumbled upon. The majority of what you guys have done is just quickly made your way through rooms, peeked into doorways, and just checked out what was in there. Everything has been clean, everything has been beautiful, but you haven't found any kind of entranceway down. That's for sure. Yes, American.
Can I scour all the floors looking for trapdoors, just running my hands along the wood?
Yeah, that's going to take some time. You can totally do that, but it's going to how long do you think it would take to scour the lower floors of a room for
I mean,
some sort of
not
trapdoor?
that long.
Yeah, I mean, you could spend 10-15 minutes scouring around for things, I guess.
Does Baron Byram have something to add?
Does this dumbwaiter, does that go down?
You can't really tell where it goes. It looks to be, it's manually operated, so you can give it
It's
a try.
got like a rope, right?
Yeah.
We used to have one in my old mansion.
It's really small. It's 2 foot wide, and it's attached to a single rope pulley mechanism.
Yes.
But from what you can see, it looks like it probably only goes up from here.
Only to the rich folk upstairs. They can't come
It's currently
downstairs.
seated on stone, so you kind of lift it up a little bit, and there's stone. There's nothing.
There's
It
nothing.
couldn't go down from there.
I bang my foot on the ground and see if it sounds like I'm just banging stone, or is there actually something like a basement, like a cavity below us?
The ground that you're stomping around in at the moment is this beautifully polished hardwood floor, and you kind of just stomp your way around this kitchen area, just as you try and find any kind of change in sound. And it all just sounds the same. It's not giving you any hints to. It doesn't sound echoey like there's an open cavity directly beneath you. But you're welcome to try that. Follow American around the house, stomping.
bang.
Yeah, stomping in different areas.
I saw Parasite the other week. The basement was often located by the pantry.
Yes.
This, I don't know if you're aware, this is not the movie Parasite that we're playing. Just sorry. Sorry.
I'm out. This is not what I was sold on.
Bill.
No, I was just gonna make a crack about Parasite.
Okay, good.
That was pretty funny.
That didn't.
That's all I had. Sorry.
With all the sort of walking around, you do hear just out of nowhere just a little bit of a creak come from upstairs.
We're not interested in upstairs.
Maybe we're in the basement.
So I'm guessing, like, my
Sorry,
investigation revealed nothing.
Dave, can you move your microphone? I can hardly hear you. I don't know if it's underneath.
It is.
Yeah, there we go.
Hiding.
That might be a
It's
bit
under the corner.
Better?
Yeah, that sounds better. Sorry, American.
So I'm guessing my investigation revealed nothing.
Yeah, you didn't find a good 10-15 minutes passes, and you don't find any sort of secret passages or doorways or anything.
Okay.
I think the main thing that you might find is as you make your way through the sort of dining area back into the hallway, is that there is like a section of this floor that seems to be unaccounted for between the main hall and the dining area, and you're running your hands around it and knocking on it, but it's solid. It doesn't seem to be any way through that. It's completely solid, like maybe even more solid than some of these just normal walls that lead to other rooms. So it could be maybe a fireplace, or there could be something behind there. But it's very hard. It's very
Beginning to think these children are just playing a prank on us.
The
I thought
second
so.
room.
Maybe I run back to the child. Like, could you show me where this basement is? I thought we'd easily find it, but we're actually having a hell of a lot of trouble.
I think by the time you reach the foyer and open the door to look outside, the fog is now closed around this house.
Oh, good.
I'm not scared of fog.
The fog's eating the children.
We'll never know.
So
We'll never know.
I just call out for the children. You're out there?
And you don't really hear anything back.
Close the door before you let the fog in.
Just a bit worried about the children now.
True.
Bill has his hand up.
Bill.
I'm gonna step upstairs.
Yeah, sure thing. Second floor, off to the right. We'll just reveal the sort of
Exit stage right.
the upstairs landing. So yeah, you make your way up these beautiful red marble steps. And as you get to the top, you notice that there are it's just as immaculately cleaned as downstairs as well. There are oil lamps mounted on the walls of this hall, hanging above the mantelpiece against another beautiful fireplace on the far wall is a wood-framed portrait of the family. There's a mother and father and two smiling kids that resemble the two that you met outside. Cradled in the father's arms is a wrapped up. It's like a swaddled baby, which it looks to be like the mother's sort of looking down at it with a hint of scorn in her face.
Scorn.
Yeah, there's 4 suits of armor that sort of flank doors to your left and right. And each suit of armor sort of clutches a spear and has sort of a visored helm shaped like a wolf's head.
Cool.
Like a wolf's head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's some kind of like carving on each of the doors as well.
Can I see the carvings?
Yeah, it looks like sort of maybe like kids dancing. Can you give me a perception check?
I surely can.
Are they flossing or are they doing
You're just doing the flossing.
Orange Justice?
But you also notice just while you're rolling the staircase that you've just come off continues up another 10 foot to the next floor. With a roll of 13.
13.
Yeah, with a roll of 13, you take a closer look at this carving, and it no longer really looks like they're dancing now that you get a closer look at it. You notice there are small bats carved into this motif as well, and it looks like they're trying to like fight off just swarms of bats.
Yeesh.
These are carved into both sets of doors.
Okay. And the statues,
Suits of armor.
suits of armor, sorry. Do they also have wolf heads?
They've got they've got like a visored helm that's shaped like a wolf's head.
I step forward. I am here in service of House Death.
And you get nothing back from anything. The Baron hears you saying this.
I'm listening.
I wish to proceed here. We've been sent here by the youngest who tell us that there are monsters therein.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
I think the statues, maybe?
Suits of armor.
Suits of armor. What, these old things? And I push one of them a little bit just to see, just to go, this thing.
And it rattles. And it, like the forearm of the suit that you're sort of shoving around just drops down onto the ground with a clang. But nothing happens. They're beautifully polished. They look amazing.
This place gives me the willies.
And with that, you hear creaking from above you.
Morley says to Bill, How long have you been talking to suits of armor and that sort of thing, Bill? Is that something in recent years you've developed?
Just mostly today, to be honest.
Right. Okay. You feeling all right there, mate?
Well, it's happened before, but this is by far the most extended conversation I've had.
Okay,
Beautiful.
then, right.
Beautiful.
It's been 3 years, Bill, and you're still great.
It's been about 3 years.
I'm gonna push past you, and what's this? I'm not gonna talk to the suits of armor, but I'm gonna walk over to this door and just give a little knock. Hello.
Yeah,
I hold my hand up.
Oh,
Bill?
I'm trying to stop him from doing it, but he's obviously already.
Oh, right. Well, you can stop him
Okay.
if he wants. If you want to.
I
Stop
don't
him.
think I can.
I mean, like you can hold your hand up, and the Baron can see it. Like, Baron, do you just continue with your knock?
I've got like a strength of 9.
I don't think
You can
I don't
stop
think you
me.
need to roll to
I'm
knock
not
on
trying
the
to
door.
stop. I'm not
but-
physically trying to restrain you.
Yeah. Okay, but I think we got to get to the bottom of this. This place is creeping me out, and I'm just starting to feel anxious. So bang, 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 bang.
And there's just silence.
Okay,
Your
I'll push it
knocking is
open.
returned with silence, and you open up this door, and it just looks to be like maybe like servants' quarters. There's an undecorated bedroom containing a pair of beds that are with straw stuffed mattresses. At the foot of each bed is just a small open empty footlocker. There's really not much in this room. On the left, it looks to be like a possible door to a cupboard
Okay,
for this room.
I'll just wait for everyone else because I will go through the next door, but I'll just
Oh, we can just
barge
give you
ahead.
that. We can just sort of open that as well. So you open that up, and just hanging inside this little closet, there's just a couple of servants' uniforms hanging from hooks, neatly pressed.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. What's American up to?
Yes, well, I tried to go outside, but the ominous fog blocked my path.
Yeah.
I discovered a strange room off to the side. Well, a strange gap that I couldn't get into. That seems strange. If I knock on it and examine it closely, do I see anything weird about the walls in that area?
No, it's still the wood paneling on the wall that you're knocking on. It sounds like there is something really solid behind it.
Probably nothing then, isn't it? Well, I can hear everyone chatting upstairs, so I suppose I'll go and join them.
What about Loris? What's Loris doing?
Yeah, so I just followed Bill and Morley and Baron upstairs while I just sort of stood poking my head up the stairs, just watching them talking to armor suits, which I thought was a bit strange, but it's Bill. He's a bit weird. So I'm just going to continue up the stairs and... Oh, God. Sorry, my token's doing all kinds of weird things at the moment. And just looking at Morley and say, are you going to open that? Because he's standing in front of the door.
Gonna eat that.
Yes, I am.
And then Morley kicks open the door.
Okay, cool. Another door kicked in.
No need to be so rough. It's a very nice house. Don't want to ruin anything.
And the door just flies open, and you... Oh, actually, sorry, I just realized I hadn't really moved this over for the viewers to see you guys. So there you go.
Oh.
You kick open the door, and you see what looks like a library. So red velvet drapes cover the windows of this room. There's an exquisite mahogany desk and a matching high-back chair facing the entrance and the fireplace, above which hangs a framed picture of a windmill perched atop a rocky crag. Situated in corners of the room are two overstuffed chairs. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves line the south wall, which is for us on the right-hand side of this map. And a rolling wooden ladder allows one to move easily to reach the highest shelves.
Well, la-di-da.
I'm just beginning to feel like these children are just playing a prank on us and we're just trespassing. But I probably didn't hear the noise that everyone else did when they were on this floor, did I?
I think all of you have heard creaking coming from above at this point.
I'm going to say, I've heard creaking from above.
Morley, I think the other thing that Morley, because you are the one that entered into the dining area, there's that same sort of missing space between the hall and the library this time. It's the same sort of shape, the same layout that you saw downstairs.
I don't know a lot about architecture. There seems to be some sort of odd gap in this house, or some sort of crevice, or some sort of crawl space over here. And I start kind of banging on the crawl space, like quite hard with my gloved hand.
Yeah, and it's just really solid. It's almost like there could be like stone or something behind the wooden panels.
It's almost too solid, I'd have to say anything.
Can I do an investigation if you're not going to do?
Yeah, what are you trying to... are you looking
Well,
for
this
some...
seems like weird. I want to see if there's some kind of way to
Yeah, give us an investigation.
access this.
Give us an investigation roll.
Because everyone's
Yeah,
noticing
can
it.
we help? Because we've all been...
Give it to me
also
with
looking at it.
advantage. Yep, you're all investigating that section of the
Oh, I don't know how to do it. I'll just roll it twice.
Okay, cool. What have we got there?
What do I get?
18. 18. Okay, with the roll, it's a really good roll, and you I'd say you might even go to the extent of looking for a gap in one of the bits of wood to see if you can see anything past it. And it does look to be like some kind of stone or rock behind the wood paneling, but there's no obvious way to open this up.
Okay. I'm just going to comment that there's really nice red velvet in here. I prefer black velvet. So there's lots of books.
Yeah, there's a lot of books. So you're sort of taking a look over. Do you want to give me?
Just to give it a scan. I want to scan the
give
books.
me a perception check because there's
Are they not intelligence?
No, just like a perception.
Okay.
Because there's like hundreds of these tomes.
Yes.
All over these high shelves. But with a roll of 19, there's one book in particular that looks to be a lot. It just stands out. It's bright red. It's like the only red book on this
Dragon Quest.
just like Dragon Quest. There's a secret recipe in this one. Yeah, so
Nice.
yeah, and it's kind of high up. You could definitely use this rolling ladder to get to it if you wanted to.
I'll use that.
Okay, great. Yeah, you move it into position and you move up and you're now face to face with this red tome.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah, each side of
the
it,
one looks interesting.
Each of it, there's kind of around it that looks like history books and books about weapons and warfare and stuff like that. But this book has nothing written on the spine. And you pull it, and the entire section of the shelving that you're on just creaks away from the wall, revealing like almost like a little secret passage behind.
Just like Parasite.
Passage. We are playing Parasite.
You see an old married couple. What?
I have not seen it, so I don't get any jokes about it.
I'm just going to exclaim, that book has moved. Some kind of secret passage. This is incredibly interesting.
What the fuck? Where did it open up? What section opened?
Let's say that this area here is now visible behind this.
This is like the dirty book repository.
It's just all adult-rated books.
There's got a little curtain there.
Where Mr. Deeth has been like storing away his drawings, his pornographic imagery.
Finally.
Normally, I wouldn't look in here, but
okay. So
investigation.
This room contains bookshelves packed with tomes describing fiend summoning rituals and necromantic rituals of a cult called the Priests of Osibus.
Osibus.
Yeah. Up against the far wall, there is a heavy wooden chest with clawed iron feet, and its lid is half closed. Sticking out of it is a skeleton in leather armor.
Yeah, Morley races over to look in there.
You also see it.
Yes.
A skeleton?
I'm going to race over. Do I see it?
You all now in this room
I
can
see it.
No one else can really fit in to see it now, so it's really just you three.
Oh my! Someone had a
So
hobby.
it's an occult book about the priests of Osibus. I'm going to write this down. I'll get you maybe to give me some info later or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to study
if
some
it has
of these,
anything in it.
if you wanted to study some of these books, you're welcome to, but it might take like quite a while to read through some of these books.
Can I stick some in my pack?
Yes, you can definitely chuck a couple of these books, maybe about like some of the rituals that this cult performs.
I'm like,
Okay.
stop! What are you doing? I heard noises upstairs. You can't just steal this stuff. They might be hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Awkward.
We'll move this back. You got a good point. But this is a weird room. I was hoping to find some kind of passage down to the basement.
Well, I'm sorry that a skeleton is boring.
Yeah.
Did you hear that creaking though?
Did skeleton
I'm
or a
worried
skeleton?
The
There's
creak.
something here.
Was the creaking coming from the skeleton? What is that with the skeleton?
coming
Is it-
from upstairs. Oh, if you want to know a bit more about it, like you take a sort of a closer look at it, and it looks like it belonged to a human, and it looks like
It belonged to a human.
it was not like an elf or something like that. Yeah.
This
So-
is my skeleton.
This is a human skeleton. Give me an investigation roll.
Okay, I can do that. If I find changed to investigation. Here we go. What I get?
22. Very good roll.
Ooh.
You notice that there are a couple of darts, little poison darts sticking into the rib cage of this skeleton, and into some of the armor that it's wearing. And you deduce that it looks like this chest was some kind of poison dart trap that this person had stumbled onto and activated. But it doesn't look like it's active anymore. It's been fired and hasn't been reset. Clutched in the skeleton's left hand is a letter bearing the seal of someone called Strahd von Zarovich.
Dun dun dun.
I'm sure that's no one important. Ignore it.
So the note is written by someone called Strahd.
Well, it's bearing the seal of someone called Strahd
okay.
von Zarovich.
What does it say?
I can show you what the seal looks like. Actually, let's show you guys the seal.
So
That's Strahd von Zarovich's seal. Do you want to know what the letter says? You want to know what the letter says?
Yes, please.
Well,
that is a very complicated seal for like wax.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, how do you push that into wax?
How big is this seal?
Come on, the entire envelopes. So ostentatious.
A raven.
So this is what the letter says. And Baron, you're the one holding this. I'd like you to read that.
Okay, is everyone gathering around?
Yeah, I think
everyone sitting comfortably.
Bill is still outside in the main hall.
Well, I'll project.
I think Bill. I think you can hear this echoing out from the library.
Okay, my most pathetic servant, and I'm guessing this is a letter to this fool, possibly, who got poisoned, or he found this note. So is the owner, the Deeths might be pathetic servants? I don't know. I'm not a messiah sent to you by the dark powers of this land. I have not come to lead you on a path to immortality. However, many souls you have bled on your hidden altar. However, many visitors you have tortured in your dungeon. Okay, I don't know if we want to go downstairs. Now that you are not the ones who brought me to this know that you are not the ones who brought me to this beautiful land. You are but worms writhing in my earth. You say that you are cursed, your fortune spent. You abandoned love for madness, took solace in the bosom of another woman, and sired a stillborn son. Cursed by darkness? Of that I have no doubt. Save you from your wretchedness? ? I think not. I much prefer you as you are. Your dread lord and master, Strahd von Zarovich.
And that is where we're going to end tonight.
Oh.
With a letter from Strahd himself.
Jesus, he sounds like a thoroughly unpleasant fellow.
Yeah.
He was like dissing them.
He was dissing the dude torturing someone, so, you know.
Yeah, what did you guys learn from that note? What did you guys learn from that?
It's a bit rude, isn't he?
I'm guessing it sounds like the owner of this house thinks Strahd is some kind of god creature. And Strahd's just like, dude, what the fuck? You're killing these people and bleeding these people and torturing them for my sake. You're a dick. I don't think you're really on the right path here.
I think it sounds like they thought that they were summoning Strahd to this land. And they said, however many souls you've bled in your hidden altar, however many visitors you've tortured in your dungeon, know that you're not the ones who brought me to this beautiful land. You're just worms. Okay, so maybe they were trying to summon him, but
like them or thinks they're a bit worthless.
Is that kind of vibe of trying to reach for immortality was in there?
Yeah. And he's their master, though. He's their dread lord.
Of the god of some kind that he represents. I don't know.
So there's a talk of another woman, and that's why they had this apparently stillborn son, and maybe that's why the painting has the wife looking,
which is the one that's pretty cross about,
angrily at the baby. But you know, portraits take months to make. I don't know why.
They really captured the scorn in her eyes.
They did. She's
like, that's a commission. So she's like, make sure you capture the fact that I hate that baby.
She's just like, I don't like the look you gave me. And he's just like, oh, look, I'm sorry. That was the look you had on your face at the time. That's how I remember it.
You
Can
kept
please
looking at your
post
stillborn
this for
baby in
me?
a mad way, and I just captured what I saw. I'm sorry, I'm an artist.
Bill?
I hate to say it, but Strahd does seem like a little bitch.
Oh no, that's
All right.
rough.
Okay.
He's very temperamental. He's very self-involved.
I respect that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
America's like, this guy seems kind of cool. He's so snooty. I like that.
He does seem to be quite involved in what he's been up to, and like worries very much about what the peasantry think of him.
Right.
Well, they're thinking that they're going to save that
Like in
Strahd's
mind,
going to
it's just
save them from
translates.
their wretchedness. But he's like, I think
Well,
not.
I kind of think that it translates to him being a little bitch.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I look forward to you telling this to him, Bill. Really, hey, little bitch, what's going on? I look forward to that.
Is there a dungeon in this house? Is what I'm now thinking. I'm
I feel
equating
like-
the basement to the dungeon.
Yeah.
I feel like we deserve a gold star for how many rooms we got through tonight.
I know.
Yeah, I'm really. I was hoping we were going to finish a little bit later into this area, but I think we finished at a really good point. I think we finished at a nice point. Something that set the scene. I think.
Oh fuck!
The first official proper decent mention of Strahd seemed like a really good place to stop. Yeah. What do you think of
Now-
the little girl outside?
She was so adorably cute. I'm like, oh my god, she was like, oh.
Not as annoying as Carp from
That's
the.
actually really cute.
Okay, good.
She was like Elmer Fudd's daughter.
Yeah, I was really at one point I was like, should I just go or not?
Yeah, that's full on Elmer.
My dad hunts wolves. No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bulk up to carry the weight of this new armor. That thing with the sack of sand is freaking heavy, and having it sit across my shoulder for 2.5
Oh,
hours,
right. Is it that heavy?
but it just gets really heavy.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Oh,
That's
and
interesting.
I should have pushed you more on your character voice that you were doing.
Yeah,
I heard
what
a glimpse of
happens-
it in there.
Yeah, we want to get that
That's right.
character voice.
It slipped a few times. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And the chat. I haven't even really been monitoring how the chat's been doing. It was. Has everyone enjoyed the return of Getting Dicey, the Curse of Strahd? I'd love to hear people's thoughts if you're currently watching. Octobus said, so many rooms, it turns out the secret is no enemies. That's how to up the pace.
That's true.
You guys didn't come across any. There was no fights this time.
We all know fights take us hours. It's hours.
yeah.
That's how D&D is, We had one fight.
You did. You
That
had
was
a
a
fight at the start. Yeah, you had a fight at the start.
Lucky I did my best move. Otherwise, it'd be like building a 10th level character for fucking nothing.
That was so this is why I was like, I wanted you guys to build something with a couple of interesting moves for a 10 level thing, just to give you an idea of the powers and stuff that you could have. And I think I just oversold it because it really wasn't I didn't want to have an hour-long battle at level 10 before we got into bringing Adam's character in, and yeah.
I had the most anime. That's the most anime spell I could find.
That was awesome.
Just teleport. You have to wear a fedora for it. You got the katana.
I missed because I reset my machine. The last thing I saw was these huge beasts that were completely in control of a fight, and then when I came back, you guys were talking about what a great festival.
All right, so what you missed was it was all a vision in a crystal ball of Bill having his future being read at a festival in Phandalin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think it's still relevant. I didn't just create this out of nothing. It's not part of the official book or anything, but I wanted to find a fun way to set the scene, I guess.
I'm sure if Bill walks into a hallway that's that shape, he will remember this vision and probably panic.
Well, speaking
Yes,
of which, I have made available. I'm not sure if it's in your. If I made it available in. Here we go. Show to everyone. I've called it A Memory of a Place. And so this is for you, Bill. You've seen a vision of where many of you were killed and in serious danger, with a small image, which is all you can. The main thing that you can hold in your mind about that encounter that you saw. Yeah.
I want to find out about these occult books of Osiris.
Osibus.
Oh yeah, totally original.
Oh, it is spelled. It's like Osybus or something.
Okay.
I just assume it's Osibus. I don't know. Osibus?
Yeah.
Ossibus? I don't know.
Ossibus.
I just thought Osibus sounded better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even
you guys, have you got? Do you guys want to talk
autocorrect.
about notes and stuff that you sort of picked up along the way, or is that just too early to really discuss?
I'm gonna have to ditch my tiny book, I think, because I won't be able to go through it and really follow along like they're tiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Made a special note of how clean the house was, dust free.
Yeah, the 2 floors you've been on have been immaculate, just beautiful.
Allergies. Perfect.
Yeah, cool.
I love the fog mechanism. I love the fog closing in around us and kind of pushing us on. Like, it was very obvious that was its purpose, but I love the imagery. It was awesome.
Yeah, you've been brought to this house, I think, specifically by this fog. It's had a very specific idea to get you into this house, and now it's basically locked you into this house.
That bit we
I was like, I'll fight. I'll go out in the fog, and I'm like, that's clearly not what the DM wants.
You
So I'm
could've-
not going to be
I
like,
would-
I try to go into the fog where the DM clearly doesn't want me to be. I'm like, no, I'm just going to stay in the freaking house.
I 100% would have allowed it and encouraged it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would totally
I just
have
feel like
allowed
it would have been a waste of time, honestly.
it. Not for me, it wouldn't have been.
I had a part.
I
thought-
just felt like I was like, what was maybe I was meant to now, but I was like, oh, I
could've
feel
given
like
it a
I'm just
try.
being an obnoxious player and ignoring what the DM actually is trying to shoehorn me into the house. So I just don't want to be like, I am not afraid of the fog. I go into it.
You would have just learned more about the fog, I think. More than anything.
Yeah. So okay, I made the right decision. Maybe.
I hate learning
I don't
about
know.
fog. What does
I
fog
don't care
ever
about the fog.
do for me? Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Learn
was
about fog.
Found a skelly boy though.
you did. Bill.
I was slightly weary about extending the level 10 battle. So I had a spell to keep all of us up.
Oh, right. I would have loved that. I thought that would have been fine.
And I was like, I don't know.
I wanted to
because
see you guys going hard with that.
Oh really? I just thought you wanted it to be over really fast because you like insta killed us.
No, I wanted you guys to have the feeling, like, I didn't want it to last too many
Did I
rounds
die?
because that would have just taken too long if we just like stretched it out. But I wanted for the rounds we had for you guys to just go hard out. The fact that you brought someone like one of the shadows back to life that you felt was fighting on your side was awesome. I would have totally let you use a spell to bring everyone back to life. Baron, I think what almost killed you was Bill's move.
That was pretty brutal. That was...
But Bill hasn't really shared his vision of Loris having his throat crushed and Mirakin being taken to the ground by something attached to her neck. That hasn't been shared with them yet.
I think sharing that would probably upset Loris. Like, his visions of death that he dies in his dreams are usually quite bloody and bits getting chopped off him. Like, it's quite it's a valorous death rather than someone grabbing him and choking him.
I imagine that's
Yeah,
Loris
true.
having a good dream.
Yeah, Loris enjoys. It's like a Viking. He enjoys those kind of, that's how you die. Those are dying. But someone choking him out and it's going to freak him out of it.
Yeah.
That's it. Right. He chokes people out. It doesn't happen the other way around.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. That's probably us for the week, yeah? If you like what you've watched today, give us a follow, like a few people have already. Lucky I am PSC, thank you for giving us a follow, as well as Acrylic and Padraig Mac and Corks Cord. We've got a lot of followers today, which has been fantastic. So if you're watching, you like what we've done, give us a follow. Come and join us in our Discord, which is linked below as well. And we've got a whole other campaign that we finished sort of at the end of last year, which is available on podcast format if you like podcasts, or it's on YouTube as well there. So check them out if you like. And as mentioned at the start, we've got some new designs for the shirts below as well, being hosted at Designed by Humans. So 3 new designs. They're all super cool. Yeah, pick one up if you want to support us. They look fantastic. Other than that, I think we're done. And we'll see, what is it, Baron? Shannon? We'll see you.
Love you, Bike.
Next time.
Smooches.
No, see you next time.
Yeah.
At the same time.
All right. See you next time.
And
Love you.
Bye.